Okay, good afternoon, gents. I hope everyone is well. Kev, how you doing, buddy? Stop Hunter, good morning. Who else have we got? What? Oh, you're down there today. Usually first. What? You're slacking. Looks like the market is waiting for him to say something. Oh, Powell, isn't it? Quarter past... Hold on a minute. 2:15. Oh, it's happening now, isn't it? For some reason, I thought I was trading at 1:30 again. I forgot the clocks have gone back, haven't they? Oh, my good grief. Okay, so, good point, mate. Stop Hunter, Rhodian. Hi, everyone. How you doing? So, I hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, of course. I had a funny feeling. We had 45, it was 45 minutes away, but we're actually on it now, aren't we? So, that's the trouble when you have this type of news and he's sort of chit-chatting. You never quite know what he's going to say. But it is going a bit slow. I'm listening to you and Pal simultaneously. Who's more interesting? Tell me that. Answer me that. I know Waffles more. That's probably me. So I did have a look. I was looking at this, but I left it in the end because the trouble is with that, it's clearly going sideways and it could trigger. And it could continue another few bars and stop below there before it bounces. Or if it bounces, you, of course, have a correct answer. So I'm going to say there's no point in me getting him up, is there? Because so at the end of the day, you never know what he's going to say, do you, really? So I don't know how long. Anybody know how long he talks for? Is it just a quick... is it, like a... just a sort of quick 15 minutes, or has he gone? Is he being questioned? Is it that type of a? Usually, let's have a look. Oh, he's done, is he? Oh, so we shouldn't have a problem then, no. So hopefully things should get back to normal. Okay, so he's done. Okay, so nothing really then, no. So I'm assuming he's just reiterating what we already know. Rates are likely not going to go up anymore, and obviously with the intention to get them down at some point. So we are getting a bit of a quick movement now. Okay, market is open. So I'm just going to get an order ready just in case.
Order
because,
submitted.
if we can get down here, possible hidden second entry long, and have a look. We've got overnight highs here, so. Bank Stats Conference, he's allowed to speak about. Okay, I'm going to say sometimes it's almost like a court appearance, isn't it, really? Okay, so far we've got a little trend going up. It'd be nice to get back to this line again, maybe push over above overnight highs, and then maybe have a bounce. We'll see. Top of the range. Yeah, I am aware of yesterday's highs, so. Well, that's what I mean. I'd like to continue up and then maybe get a higher low. But I'm not going to get sucked into this first move. Been there, done that. Try to avoid it now. Same again. It hasn't come back to this channel before it's pushed up. There was a hidden second entry long. Trouble is, it's right at overnight highs and actually closed under. It is a small risk, but I suppose some might risk that. I suppose there's worse trades to take. It's quite a small bar, wasn't it? But it was right at the market open, so actually it's a 1.25, including the tick above, tick below. So it's quite a small risk, and it worked. Okay, so we've gone up, made a new high, and we've broken yesterday's highs. So let's see what's going on. We've got a leg back. It'd be nice to get another leg back here. A leg and a leg, and then maybe a higher low. Come back here. Come on. Possible lower high. No, that's quite strong, isn't it? So there's nothing we can really do at the moment. Anybody take that, or was it Trouble is, it's the market opens is a little bit risky, but like I say, point in a quarter with a tick above and below, it's actually a small risk. But it's going into the overnight high, so you just don't know. It could pull back, it could trigger and come back down. But it is a small risk.
Order cancelled.
Oh, incidentally, the 90%'s gone, as you know, yesterday. We've got a 71% now. My code's down there as usual. So 71% off evals and any consecutive months. I'm hoping it's not going to be too long before we get something a little bit better. In all fairness, my opinion is it's not a bad discount, but you know, I mean, I get as you know, I get a small what's the word? A small commissions from Apex for you guys using my code, and it's nice to have, but in my opinion, I'd hold on and wait. I'd rather you save your money, so that at least we get 80%, because surprisingly enough, even 71 to 80% is actually quite a bit of a difference. So my opinion is I'd hold if you can. So there we go. So hopefully we had something similar last month. We had 71% and it wasn't too long. So I can't see it. Where are we now? It's on for another, when was it? Is it the 28th? So it's on for 20 days. Black Friday probably, yeah. I mean, yeah, I do get a commission from Apex, you know, when you guys use my code. But in my honest opinion, I'd sit tight and wait. I would, unless you're desperate. I'd rather you save your money. I don't think it'd be long before we have an 80 or 90%. I certainly don't think it'll be to the end of the month. So if you can, I'd hold on. So that's weird, that is. I'm just wondering whether we can go from a spike and channel to here, because if we do that, it fits a lot better. So let's just put that there. And let's lift this up a bit. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe there. See, it doesn't make much difference, does it? There's no stopping it, is there? I'm not sure about that. Let's just put it back there for the minute. I think it fits either way. From the bottom, you reckon there's an overshoot? Oh, I don't know. If you bring it there, there's an overshoot there. Usually results in a reversal, but it hasn't. There's another overshoot and it's still going. So I think it's likely there. And the reason being is because we touched there and we actually touched there. So it doesn't really matter. Oh, you're changing your mind now. You can't have it both ways. Yeah. Can't change. You're trying to look clever now. So that looks okay. That looks okay. It visually looks okay, doesn't it? The trouble is, I mean, if you bring that down to there, you could say an overshoot, but then it's considered up. It's gone up and then come back and gone up again. So I think it's probably likely something like that. I mean, it's not bad in all fairness. It touches there, it touches there. So I think that's okay. You know, as well as fitting it, it needs to visually look okay as well. And if you tighten it like that, it gives you a better representation of it. It fits quite nicely there, doesn't it? So let's see what happens here. Maybe a couple of legs bounce off the overnight highs. Let's see. Or maybe it is just the top of a range. That's always the problem, really, in going long. Because until it starts to pull back in here, you never quite know whether we're in a range at the moment. We've opened, we've had a few legs down, and from, well, about 7 o'clock UK time, we've been continuously going up. So that is our first break, depending on where you draw this. I mean, in all fairness, you could make that fit by doing that. And in honesty, it actually doesn't fit too bad. We still touch, we still touch, we still touch. The top fit's actually slightly better now, so I would say that might actually fit. It is a first entry, so you can't really take it. If we can get a higher low, then that's a possibility. And I have adjusted that, and it actually fits slightly better. I've come from exactly the same place, really. I've just literally adjusted it a fraction. I mean, you could even take that across to that bar there and bring that down a bit more. And it makes the top, no, maybe not. It makes the top fit better. I don't think that's that bad, really. Obviously, you've got to be aware that it might not be, but it does touch 3 times and nicely. But obviously, I always keep it in mind that I have adjusted it. It's not set in stone, but I kind of think it fits okay. So we'll see. But as I say, I never take this first one. I'll wait for a higher low. I always give you the opportunity to trap you. If it's going to trap you, usually it'll trick you and come down and stop you out. But if it continues up and we get a high low, that's usually a better sign. But I mentioned this yesterday. It does this a lot. It pushes a bit and pushes a bit and pushes a bit and pushes a bit and then drops. It almost sucks you in. Next time you look at these, just watch it. Watch what it does. If that was going to be a really good setup and a lot of traders, went in there or jumped in, it would probably push up a bit quicker. But the fact that it's just testing you, it's not to say it's not going to go up, but sometimes where it triggers and just pushes up maybe 3 or 4 ticks, 3 or 4 ticks, 3 or 4 ticks, and keeps dripping back down. But that has pushed up, so far so good. I always like to say wait for the higher low. I've given up. I mean, it is a first entry anyway, but so there is a channel there. So there is a possibility that may come down here and break that. Let's have a look. I'd like to come down and bounce off there and push up, but that may get stopped out. Channel break, new low. It is trying to hold, so it may be okay. Right, my only slight issue with this going long from here is when we come off this side here, we push up to the top and then we come back. We push up to the top and then we come back. We push up to the top and then we come back. This push, we've only gone a bit of the way up before we've come back again. So I get nervous about going long there. It's got right to the top here, but it's come away, isn't it? So whether that's losing a bit of momentum, I'm not so sure, but I'm going to be careful about going long here because it's not like a pattern that I like the look of. Sometimes I can't put my finger on it. There's just something that doesn't look right. To me, it looks like it may be preparing to have a bigger break. It may trap some longs here and then come down. I might be wrong, but sometimes I just get a feeling about something. But that is a good sign. But But I tend to go on the whole picture now. I tend to kind of have a glimpse at it and say, yeah, I like it, or there's something doesn't feel right. And something doesn't feel right. It may change. There's no real setup there anyway. You can't take that one, in my opinion. It's just it's not even a first entry. Second entry long, but it's just not a good signal bar, and then we just push up. The only one you may consider is that one, but I don't like taking stuff like that. There's not much room to the highs. There's not 2 points to the highs. But you just never know sometimes. The thing is, when you take a trade and you lose a trade, it's a bad trade. When you take a trade and it wins, it doesn't mean it's a good trade, because sometimes bad trades still work. A bad setup can still work. So it can give you a false sense of security. If you take a trade and you lose it, it's a bad trade. It clearly didn't move, and you don't get really good trades that don't work. But on the other hand, you do get some poor trades that work. So that's just, I don't like the look of this pattern, and the fact that that's triggered and gone up, 3 ticks and turned, it's making me nervous. Can you please share the tick indicator? This one here. Yeah, it's from a company called TickTech. It's actually free. TickTech.com it's from. I shall show you if it pops up. See what happens here, but I'm just not a fan of this. If it pushes up from here, maybe, but I think that's going to get stopped out. I think we've got a leg down, 2 pushes up, and I think we've got another leg down. I'm just going to draw this quickly, because this is what I think is going to happen. Let me just turn this a sec. I might be wrong, but I think there's a possibility of that. Okay. If it does touch 3 times, then that might not be too bad, but it's not pushing up how I'd like. Okay, you're never going to guess the name. It's a real tough one. It's called Bar Size Counter. I don't know how the hell they come up with that name. Very impressive, I would say. There you go. Anyway, www.ticktech, TICKTEC, ticktech. Try saying that when you had a few drinks. ticktech.com. And it's free. So there you go. It is nice here. I mean, at the end of the day, if I see a great setup, I don't pay too much attention to the size of the bar if it's a good enough setup. So this is my prediction. We're going to have another leg down. I certainly think we're going to have a break here. In fact, you could argue we already have. This looks like it's sucking longs into me. If you took that, have you been stopped out? Not yet. This is just risky to me. This is a leg and a leg, in my opinion. Proxima, you're welcome. You're welcome. Very welcome. I think this is sucking longs in. I could be completely wrong. But it's sideways and it's not pushing up. We've had 2 legs up and we've already come back. If that was strong, it would continue to push up. And it's going a bit sideways. So I think that is going to trigger and turn. I'm not saying don't take it. I'm just saying be careful. Sitting on, yeah, it's going sideways to me, if anything. Now, it may just push up. Sometimes they just do. That's what I mean. Sometimes not great setups still work. But it's look, it's clearly going sideways. And when you've had, why isn't that highlight? When you've had a pull down and sideways, often you get one out this side as well. So I'm just doing nothing here at the moment. It's just obviously doing sideways. It could continue up, absolutely. The thing is, even pretty poor setups in a trending market. We've always heard we've all heard the saying, the trend's your friend. Sometimes it just pulls you out of the shit, doesn't it? Oh dear me, excuse me. It would have had to push through there, so you wouldn't have got a point depending on where you got in. I mean, it is still working up that line, so I mean, regardless of that, it's still sideways, so you just got to be a bit careful. Because there'll probably be some longs in there. There'll almost definitely be some longs there, so it could have a quick drop. I'm not saying it's going to. If it turns and has a nice positive bull bar, I'd say it's probably going to continue up. But it's clearly sideways, and it's just too risky for me. Okay, there's always the possibility of that. Maybe there. Of another leg up, leg, sideways leg. That's possible. But before it goes up that far, I'd like to see a break of a couple of legs and then another leg up. So that's a possibility. Obviously, Mac tends to not talk about day-by-day stuff, but ultimately, if you maybe go on the hourly, you can go over a matter of days, and it doesn't make a difference. Hey, how are you all? How are you all doing? We're all good. I'm good. Hope you're well. So I was hoping there, see that push up, we'd have a leg and a leg. That one and that one. Maybe to give us another push up. But it's a good sign. We've broken above yesterday's highs. But I would like to see a correction. We had one there, we had that first leg up, we came back, we had another leg, we had a correction, and then we continued on up. Hey, Indy, sorry, mate, I didn't see you there. How are you doing, bud? Dr. Lenny, how are you? Trades consider absolutely. Well, I'm yet to see one. And I genuinely mean that. I am yet to see a really good setup to fail. I don't know if anybody else agrees with me, but absolutely. If I see a really good, solid setup, a perfect 2 legs down, nice and bullish bar in a trend, I'm yet to see one of those fail that I can't say I know why that failed. So I don't think trades just fail. Now, obviously, any type of news or something happens in the markets can obviously change things, absolutely. But with no interference of any type of news, a perfect second entry long, I'm yet to see one just fail, and I genuinely mean that. But not great setups sometimes can still continue on up, whereas a bad trade, what am I looking for? If you take a bad trade, I don't know. It's just gone. My head's gone at the moment. I can't even think what I was saying. Yeah, if a bad trade loses, it's because it was a bad trade. Well, I can't think. What did I even say? Well, I have to look back on that. I'm having a senior moment, I think. Is this the bar size counter indicator from TikTok? TikTok? TikTok, I downloaded it, but it shows 3 different numbers beside it. Those 3, I'm not sure, mate. I've had this now for nearly 2 years, so it might have been updated. Those 3 numbers could be TikTok. I'm not sure, mate. I'll tell you what, let me have a quick look, see if it gives you any options. Your settings may look a bit different from me, because I've had this at least 1.5 years, I'd say. So it might have changed. They might have more information, and I might have deleted it. Let's have a look. Top colour, bottom colour. I'm not sure if yours looks anything like that. Let me just make that a bit bigger. So I'm going to keep... yeah. That's how mine's set up. Obviously, you want to push it. Got it, yeah. I want to push it so far to the right and a certain size so it doesn't get in the way. But I can't remember... there were 2 transparent. Okay, top colour, yeah. I just want to see that one number. I can't remember what the others were, whether they were showing the ask and the bid line or not. But I'm glad it's still available anyway. The only trouble is sometimes these things get updated and they change. But it is useful. I don't pay too much attention to it now, because if I see a good setup, I'll just take it. If I see a setup that's okay, but it's a large bar, I just like to be aware of it. But it's useful to have anyway. So there's a bit of a bounce there, but same again, it's going a bit sideways. So for me, I can't get involved in that, unfortunately. I'm not saying it's not going to go up. It seems like a strong market at the moment, but there's not much room to the highs. There's not even a point, I don't think. 3 ticks maybe, so I can't get in. What I will say, though, is with the exception of this push-up, it was quite likely working in this top tier. Now we've pulled down, it's working in the bottom tier, so I think that's a risky trade. And the way that's turning back, it's a 100% risky trade. So possible, I'd like this to trigger that short there.
Order submitted.
I'd like to see this trigger that short with a lower high and then push up a little bit. Maybe fade this. Okay, let's see how this finishes. I'd like it to come down a bit and sort of sit bullish on the bottom. Maybe fade the breakout there, but for me it's got to come down to that level at least. I like the way it's still sat there. I haven't adjusted this. It's still sat there. So that one I'm okay with. This needs to push up. If this pushes up and finishes bullish there, I'll take that. But this may be the start of that correction I was thinking about, whether we got a correction here, but no, I don't think that's going to work. I'm looking for a correction.
Order cancelled.
Okay, so we seem to be working in this tier. We've had a break and we're working in the low tier now. So I'd like to see two legs of correction. In one leg down, push up, another leg down, maybe bounce off the overnight highs for another leg up. That's what I'd like to see. And I think if we do get another leg up from here, let's have a look. Depending on where we go to, I think that might coincide with this one. Let's have a wee look. Let's see if this comes anywhere close. Be that one, wouldn't it? So that's pretty close for me, depending on how that falls. And we've got a leg up, sideways leg up, also two separate legs up. So that'll be interesting, actually. If that forms anywhere close to there after two legs, I can see us having another leg up there. But it does look like a leg, some sideways and another leg. So that'll be interesting. So we're working this channel. I'm quite happy with that. One leg down, pull up and another leg down would be nice. Now, excuse me, possible leg. I would consider this as one leg. Well, I'll also check that it's not a channel coming down, because depending on how you've got this, there is a possibility of a break. But if that holds on top of the overnight highs, which it has done so far, that's a good sign. So that might be a leg, one leg, another push up and another leg. Let's see how this forms. Same again, closed above there, so that's a good sign. Let's just hope it holds. It doesn't look like it's going to, does it? Depends how you've got this drawn. So you could have it like that, in which case we've had a break. I don't know though. Let's get rid of that. So I'm not sure actually, mate. I don't know. Well, someone said he's finished, so I've got a feeling that's a break. I mean, you could fit it in, but neither way it works lovely. So I don't know. It could be just a break and a new high, and this is on our way down. So I'm not sure about that. I don't see how any way that can fit. Even if I put it like that, it kind of fits as well. See, so I'm not sure about that. Touch, touch, touch. Take that up a squidge. Bring that back a bit. Touch, 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 touch. It's hard to say. Found second inch long, second entry short, perfect, but didn't take it. Yeah, there is a failure. Second entry long triggered. Trouble is, you just don't know. See, my issue is we're coming into overnight highs, so if you take that, it could bounce. And it sort of came down but stayed above there and did the same there. So you never quite know. It could be just a leg and a push up. But that's the trouble, really, when you're not sure what's likely to happen. Because I kind of think that looks okay. Perhaps it doesn't. Perhaps it is a bit more like that. It's not a great channel, really. It's not that clear. But it fits multiple ways there. I mean, usually I'll draw that and say I like to assume we've had a break and a new low, which stops me going along until we start working up. But I think it's probably safer to say that we've had a break. Depends how you draw it, see. See, I thought it fitted nice there. It fits nice along the back side. But the way we've done this and pushed up and come back down would tell me we may have made a break. I'm going to put that there. And let's do this for now. And then assume that's a break. And then eventually another push up. Because, well, clearly coming down. So this may end up being a range. Yeah, Martin. Someone said he'd already finished. So I don't know. I don't know how long he was talking for, but I think it was just a general chat, wasn't it? I don't know. You guys probably know it, US news, more than I do, really. No news now. No, that's it. It's all done and dusted. That was, well, it was about 50 minutes ago, 55 minutes ago. Possible hidden second entry short. I always just tend to wait for the lower highs now. I mean, it does push up, pulls back a little bit and pushes up again. So I don't know about hidden. Actually, it is a potential second entry short. But the last couple of times, have you noticed? I watched Moo Moo last night when it broke up that big bearish bar. I said it looks like a trap to me. It was going up when he took it. And unfortunately, he jumped in with multiple contracts. I think 8 contracts and moved his stop, and he ended up getting battered. But I don't like anyone seen done in by the markets. I mean, normally with a channel like that, you know, we're taught as Pat's traders, when you have a break of a channel, usually you make a new extreme, but so many times now it doesn't. It just breaks and goes up. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we've gone from here, we've touched here, we've touched here. It's working perfectly on the backside, so I would say that's a perfect channel. I've got no issues with any breaks or anything that doesn't look right there. That's our first break. Normally, after a break, you'd expect a new extreme, but so many times now it doesn't. It gives you an offering, it traps you and pushes up. So this is one of those multiple personalities that Mac talks about. You know, one day you'll trade and it's almost like you're out with someone you've known for years, and then a day later it's almost like you're out with a complete stranger. See, there's no sign of that breaking, is that's pushing up strong. So you can understand why inexperienced traders get trapped there. If they've had a break, it's bearish bar. I mean, it's a first entry, but the trouble is when you're a newbie trader, you want to take anything. But as soon as that forms, see what happens. One tick below and turned. See, I can't see where that would have had a break. What I could say, actually, well, yeah, I mean, you could argue it's at a possible overshoot, but I can't even say that in all fairness. No, it does fit in there. I can't see where it breaks, but anyway. So, clearly got a leg down. We've made one attempt to go higher. Now, if we come down and then make a second attempt to go higher and that ends up bearish, then I'm interested in going short. I will consider that then. It's Clay at the moment, is he? I think Clay's our resident penguin trader, I think. So leg down, one attempt to push higher, comes down, a second attempt to go. It'd be nice to come down to the midline, push up again, push above that and close below the overnight highs. That would be a nice short in my opinion. It's almost like a bigger version of a second entry short. So that's come back to where I wanted it to the midline. So if we can push up again, push up a little bit lower than this, and then close below the overnight highs, for me, that's a good short. You're short here, you're short there. See, I'm waiting for a second push up. leg down, or one leg up, second leg up. Not quite as high as this, but I'd like to or even if we just get a lower high. I was hoping to just tick above there a little bit and then close below it. See, I can't see. We're touched here, touched here, touched here. It works along the backside. I can't see where that's at a break. Sometimes you get a minor break and it makes all the difference, but I can't see one there. As far as I'm concerned, that fits nice enough for me to think about this could still go short. So first push up, pull back. There is a lower high there, but the bar's a bit naff. It doesn't mean it's not going to work. I mean, personally, I would still like to see another push-up, a clearer push-up. That's the first one, in my opinion. Leg, I'd like to see another one. Not as high as here, though. I don't want clay stopped out. I'm assuming your stop's going to be above there, bud. Baby squared. Man, trading made a new video. Chin and Coleman. Oh, they're early. I know they have made one or two, but they're trading completely different, aren't they? I think they started Pats, didn't they, and then did their own sort of thing. Much to Mac's delight. In all fairness, I think they actually brought a lot of business to Mac, because I wouldn't have come to this style of trading if it wasn't for those two. I started watching those a little over 2.5 years ago. And that's what brought me to that, to this style of trade, and then indeed to Mac as well. So I'd say, he dragged. I know I've spoken to a lot of you guys as well. You came in from off the backs of those two. You'd seen those trading. You came in from Chin, yeah. Chin. Yeah. It's strange, really, isn't it? I don't know how they had such big exposure. I mean, their videos. I mean, I know Michael Chin's videos were getting 750,000 views, which is a lot for this, for this sort of topic. But they seem to just strike a chord with a lot of people, didn't they? I think this is looking good for you, Clay. Although we've got a leg up, this could be leg, and we may make another attempt. I'm hoping this attempt is close but not low enough. Chin is quite... Yeah, I think you're probably right, actually. Yeah, that does attract people, doesn't it? It just makes him interesting to watch, doesn't he? So, yeah. But yeah, they had a lot of exposure. I don't know what the deal was with Mac, a few people said. I think what he'd done is he'd taken Mac's system and almost repackaged it the same, I think. I don't quite know. But I know his course. Because I was about to pay the £300 odd for his course. And I Googled him and Googled price action, and I found out a few people saying he'd nicked the idea from Mac. Have you never heard of him? No. And then I went to Mac and realised Mac's was a third of the price. There was just two traders. They was like trading buddies, and they would trade in price action, Mac's system. And I started watching him a little over 2 years ago. That's how I just... Yeah, I think a lot of people did, to be fair. So he got a lot of business off him. Obviously, that's irrelevant. I think they'd nicked his material, I think, and just repackaged it and branded it under their name. But yeah, it's strange, isn't it? They had such a lot of exposure. They attracted a lot of people to futures trading. But it's Pat's, not also repackaged Brooks. Well, exactly. So you just don't know, really, do you? You don't in the... yeah, but I think Mac originally got it from Al Brooks, I think. Okay, there's a possible failure here. We've pushed up. We're trying to go once, try to go twice. I like the way we've triggered that, but it needs to come down here first. No, Brooks is very comprehensive. Yeah. So you just never know, do you?
Order submitted.
You don't know how different Max is from Brooks. From Al Brooks, I don't know. this is a possible failure. It's triggered that bullish bar, and it's not pushing down as strongly as I'd like it. And I don't think it's going to finish bearish enough to make that an interesting. It's no good that. Let's
order cancelled.
Brooks can take a trade on the. Yeah, he's almost like the daddy of price action, isn't he? I think he's been doing it that long, and I think he's just. I suppose he comes over as just being naturally gifted when it comes to that type of thing. But he's very, very articulate, isn't he? And he almost knows the price and the chart inside out and back to front. So I think you could do worse than watch him. I really do. Okay, so I'm a bit on the fence here. When it triggered here, it didn't push down strongly enough for my liking. Having said that, it is a failure, but what I will say, it's a little bit congested, so I'm a little bit nervous about taking that. Triangle once, triangle twice, failure. It's just not pushing down as comfortable as I'd like. I'm just going to see what happens here. Let's see if this triggers. If it can triggers and sits around here, I'm going to leave it. But I'm just going to get an order ready. If we can break below there, then we may have a push down. But I'm a bit on the fence here. Okay, that's just put me right off.
Order cancelled.
No, it's not, is it? You might be right, mate. It just might have another second entry short here. I mean, if your stop's here, it's about as good as it can be. Sorry about that. It certainly looks like it's bearish, doesn't it? I'll agree with that. So whether it's that or not, I don't know. But if it is that, I think you're pretty safe up here, mate. Let's just have a look here. So if we can bring that down a tiny bit and put that there. I mean, we've pushed up here. We've had a break and had a new high. So I think it's fair to say it's likely we're ranging. Now, we could pull back so far and then push up again. That's possible. But I would say it's more likely to come down than go up. Because we've had a nice channel in. We've had a break of it. And we try to go once, try to go twice. Yeah, if it breaks below here, that's going to come down nice and quick. And I'd say, yeah, okay. See. In fact, yeah, good on you, mate. If you had taken that one, it wouldn't have triggered you, so you'd have been okay. And the way that's coming down, I've got no issues with that coming down to at least here, and quite likely lower. And I'd say there's probably even going to be a couple of legs down there, so that's going to get you down to pretty much down here, I'd say. I've got no doubts there. Once we get below here, we're going to come down here. There may be a few stops along the way. You got Phil. Good on you, mate. Good on you. Feels good, doesn't it, Clay? It's a nice feeling when a trade works, isn't it? You see it coming against you, and it's sort of like a mini roller coaster of emotions. But when it just drops like that, it's a great feeling, I've got to say. I never get tired of that feeling. It is a good feeling. Yeah. I know the feeling, mates. Yeah, sometimes if you've had a bad trade before or something, the market's got a habit of knocking your confidence a bit, isn't it? And what you need to be dug out of that little hole of doom is a nice win, and I think you played that right, mate. In all fairness, after that, when we've pushed up and we started pushing down and we stayed below the EMA, I thought that, there's way more chance of it coming down. I'll be break even all week. Yeah, it goes like that, mate. I think last week, was it last week or week before? I had a really slow week. I think I did about $250 all week. I had a couple of losses in one day, and then it just obviously you're playing catch up then, aren't you? But yeah, It does unnerve you when it goes back. But at the end of the day, it's a good thing to have pullbacks, doesn't it? Because, people take their profits and then more shorts get in, and people take the profit and more shorts. My only slight concern was that one when it did pushed up. That's I cancelled my order. But if you had taken that failure, your order had been here, it crossed over, pushed up, came down, and then obviously as soon as that one appeared, down we came. So I can't see an issue why we're coming down, why we wouldn't come down to the bottom, or at least to this area. There is a bit of congestion here, so it may go sideways, but there's congestion there, so I would expect it to come down here. We're clearly ranging now, aren't we? We could even get a second entry short here, actually. Yeah, but sometimes it does happen now and again, though, doesn't it? Sometimes you have a bit of a stale week and things are a bit odd, and it knackers your confidence a bit, and then a week or two later, it's all forgotten about, isn't it? So, what I'm trying to keep in mind, it's all about your equity curve. It doesn't matter whether you win, whether you lose, whether you win. Well, it does, but it's not important. What happens is over a period of time, the fact that what we want is our equity curve to slowly climb. It doesn't matter if it dips a bit here, or you have a good day, or even a couple of bad days, as long as it continues on up. And that's what defines you as a trader over a period of time, not a losing day or a slow week. And I try and keep that in my head. It's about the bigger picture, not one day. And it was a Sam 5 trader who told me something. I'd had a bad day maybe 6 months ago. He said, don't let one bad day define you as a trader. It's absolutely right, because how many times do we get a bad day and we blow accounts just because of one day, when really one day absolutely means shit? If you've lost that much, you end up spiraling, then the simple answer is you're risking too much. And I know I've done it myself. I had 4 accounts up to about $2,300 each, and I was waiting for a payment before long, and I was trading 2 contracts, and I lost 2 trades in a row, and they happened to be rather large bars, and I lost $750 in a day, which was over a third of what I'd earned there, and I just collapsed after that. I just couldn't recover from that mentally. And the answer is, I'm trading too much. If I'd have been risking 1 contract, I'd have lost $350. Now that I could have recovered from. So the answer is trading 2 contracts. It's just too much risk. Okay, 1 push up, second push up. A little bit of congestion here. It makes it a little bit risky. I think it is likely to come down to here, but I'd have preferred a bit more of a, that's better. Now let's have another bar up with a bearish bar. There's our first entry. I can't see, there's no reason why it wouldn't come down here. There's nothing stopping it really. Overnight highs are down here. There's also a lot of support there, and we're way above that. Yeah, it's clearly congested. There's nothing you can do at the moment there. So touch. Be nice to get a little bit of a break out of this. Maybe touch that midline and close bearish. Oil news at 7:30. 12:30. Yeah, I've got nothing on my chart here that I don't think that's going to affect this. We'll see. It's in the econ calendar. Is it? I've got nothing on mine. I don't know. Oh, I didn't want to take that one. One, it's an inside bar. Two, it's stuck in the middle of that, so it could trigger, come back and stop you out, break above and then drop. Yeah, there's nothing that interests me there. And if you would have taken one of those, this is starting to look a bit dangerous as it's coming back. Big red 4-hour candle on ES. Overall seems bearish with small pump. Probably, yeah. That was my concern with taking something like that, or any of them. I mean, it's looking bearish, isn't it? And you'd expect this to come down some more, but that's the trouble with that area like that. You get into anything like that, thinking you're going to ride it down to here, and that bar makes your life miserable. Okay, so it's still holding on this line, which is a good sign. Maybe leg and a leg. Yeah, down. It is a possible one push up, one attempt to go higher. Second attempt, if we can push up, maybe touch this midline, then come down bearish. That may be of interest. I think it's. Okay, so just excuse me, just for 2 minutes. In fact, I'm going to have a quick 5-minute break, make a cup of tea, and I'll be back. Okay, let's have a little look what we missed. There we go. Are we continuing down? Big bearish bar there, but that was like a first entry, really. It's going a bit sideways there, isn't it? It's getting a bit choppy. I think it's probably still likely we're going to get down here, but there is some congestion here, see, so that's probably why. Maybe spike and channel. Yeah, it's possible. Let's get that so it looks about right. Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Parcel. Okay. Yeah, okay. That looks okay to me. But it is still going sideways, isn't it? One leg up, two legs up. What to do? What to do?
Order submitted.
Second entry short there. I'm not sure about that. There is two legs back, isn't there? I'm kind of glad that fell
Order
off. I'm not
cancelled.
sure about this. Let's see if we get anything from Mac yet. Should do. Yes. Excellent. See if he's given us the correct chart today. He hasn't posted the daily instead. Yes. Okay. So, right. Okay. Right. Mac has gone from the top here. Down to there and there. Okay, so that's a break and a new low. That makes sense. And actually, strangely enough, he has gone from there to there. Yeah, that's how he's done that. Okay, yeah, it's fair enough. I come to the conclusion we'd had a break and a new high there anyway, so leg down. Break new low. Well, first attempt higher, second attempt higher, maybe still coming down. Who knows? There's a higher low there. Too risky in my opinion. So we come down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher, third. Possible triple test if that shoots down bearish, but maybe not. That is tempting.
Order submitted.
Maybe not now.
Order cancelled.
Almost like a fell break out of this. We got a leg down, maybe 1, 2, triple test. 1, 2, 3. I'm just not a massive fan of the bar where it's pulled back above the line if it stayed down there. So you could say that's a triple test, and it may well push down. In fact, it probably will, but yeah, it's looking like it's going to. But we've already made a break and a new low, so they just have to take that with caution if you do, but I'm staying out of it. I still think it's likely to come down to here, but you know, I just don't know. I'm not a fan of it, in all fairness. Could say it's a leg down, 1, 2 attempts to go higher. Yeah, I'm staying out at the moment. I don't like it when it gets choppy. It's very easy to think, oh, I'll take it on a limit order going down, then all of a sudden it stops you out. It's just not very clear at the moment. So for me, that's a little bit risky. If we get a lower high from there, that might be a better option. Leg down, lower high. I'd still like to at least come down to here. We're coming down, we go sideways, and often we do come down. But we have had a break in a new low from the channel, so technically that channel's played out. Doesn't mean it's not going to continue to come down. Obviously, it depends where the channel finishes, but there is scope to come down to at least this level, where there's some more support, and then obviously potentially down in this area as well. That lower high is tempting. Oh, that's tempting.
Order submitted.
I don't know. I don't like going short
Order
right
cancelled.
in the middle of a range. If that was a good short when that trigger below, that would push down, not turn around. So I just don't like taking trades right in the middle, and obviously the way that's going up. At the end of the day, my mission really is to try and even just get one trade a day. If I can get one trade a day for 2 points, that's $100. Over the period of a month, that's $2,000 a month. So that's plenty for me. So, you know, I'd rather hold on for something a bit better. Now, it is a lower high. You may have taken that one. That probably would have been the better option. There is a lower high, but I've seen this happen before. You get another bearish bar and that triggers and then it turns. So I'm just staying out of this. I'm not going short down there. I just don't like the look of any of this. We have had a break in a new low, so it could just be dragging shorts in and then all of a sudden it'll turn. But I'm just staying sitting tight. I want a better trade than that. If all I've got to take is one trade a day, I want it to be a lot more clear cut. I'd rather not take a trade otherwise, because if you did take a trade, it just shafted you. See, as that one turned down, and I see this all the time, we get a bearish bar that triggers and pulls back, and it nearly hits it, and it goes again, and people go, oh yeah, it's gone up and it hasn't triggered it, let's go again. So what happens? They jump in again, and then it triggers and stops them out. I often see that where you get one offer and then a second offer, and then it'll turn. People say the market's not out to get you. I flipping disagree. I do. I think that's exactly what it's out to do. It's out to weed out weak positions. So what about triple test in a range? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a fan of this. I mean, to be honest with you, do I think it's more likely going to come down? I do, yeah. But then why didn't that nice lower high work? Leg down, a little bit of a pullback, bearish, and then again. The trouble is, I think there's two schools of thought. We've had a channel down. We've already had a break in a new low. So technically that's played out. Now, some think it's going to come down here. Or here, or even maybe to these lows, and it's quite likely going to. But it's just finding a decent position. That looks like it's going to work. But sometimes if you stay patient, just that little bit of extra time, you get a better bar. But then look at that, it's triggered. And so when it's like this, you never know. Normal trades in situations like this, in my opinion, the risk goes up of losing them because you never know. I haven't traded Pats for a while. Have you not? No. I didn't doubt it, but I started to look around at one point. I started to look at Penguin, but what I found is, you can't just pick up a strategy and in a few months be able to trade it successfully. It's not the strategy that's the difficult part. It's trading it to what the market's doing. It's what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think what I'm trying to say now. But it's applying it to the correct context. Context is everything. A perfect second entry long in a downtrend is not a good trade. It's not a good trade. So it's absolutely context. Learning the strategy. You can explain to someone in 5 minutes what a second entry short is, but if it's not in the correct context, it's not going to work. But I maybe spent a few weeks trading more going into Penguin, but then all I was seeing is Pat's trades, and I'm thinking to myself, I've heard this before, and people say it's not your strategy, it's you that's the problem. So I just want to try and make a better version of me. So I think if you learn a strategy that you know is a good system, as far as I'm concerned, Pat's is a good system. As far as I'm concerned, Penguins is a good system. It's not the strategy, really. It's applying it to the correct context of the market. And ultimately, it's a battle with yourself, isn't it? But I think it's quite normal at some point in your trading careers. You start to look around and think, I'm missing something. Why aren't I getting where I want to be? And I started looking at Bookmap. I had that on there for a while, and I was talking to people about order flow, and I'm thinking, I just need to focus on the thing I've spent the last 2 years learning and just be a better version of myself. And it does work. Most strategies work, really, if it's a strategy that's been adopted by enough people. Most strategies work. It's almost always down to the trader. 100% agree. Yeah, absolutely. Some people say nearly all strategies work, just people doing wrong things and letting them out. Absolutely. You have to have a strategy. You have to, I thought that would push down the end. You have to have a set of rules to follow. Otherwise, you're just winging it. Now, if you've been trading for 25 years and you can wing it, then you're probably going to be very good at it. Because if you've sat and looked at these price moving for 25 years, then you're just going to be able to take trades where you think they're going to move, and that will quite likely work. But yeah, it's almost always down to the trader. But I think at some point you start to have doubts. You think you should be doing better by now, and you start to look elsewhere, and you talk to other people, and some people say, I use this, I use that. And it's only natural to be curious. But I realised then I'm missing the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is it's me, not the strategy. Mac's been teaching this strategy for, I believe, 12 or 13 years, and if it didn't work and the system didn't work, he wouldn't still be doing it. But Yeah, it is. It's the psychological side of it. If you can, say to yourself, I haven't taken a revenge trade at all and I follow the rules 100%. If you're not making money, you clearly haven't got enough trading skills at the moment to be able to make the money. But if you can follow the rules, now how many of us can say we can stick to the plan 100% for a month? Probably not many of us. Sometimes you just do stupid things, don't you? You think it's coming down. You might have had a loss. You may have had an extra contract. And before you know it, you're thinking, what have I done? And that's the trouble with emotions. They can really take over, and you'd be surprised. You'll be in a trade before you even know what's happened, and it's weird. I've blown many accounts revenge trading now, and I feel like I've learned to walk away. And in all honesty, Clay, I think that just comes with time. You have to expose yourself again and again to emotions to be able to deal with them in the end. Like I've said many times, it's about a boxer. If me or you went in the ring, we go in there swinging like crazy, no control, panic sets in, and there's no control. But, a guy that's trained to be a boxer for 3 years maybe, he'll be able to go in there coolly and calmly, and he won't let emotions get the better of him. He'll be fully in control. You can't get like that overnight. It takes time to expose yourself.
Order submitted.
This. Have a look. Yeah, it takes time to expose yourself to these emotions, really, for them to work. It is a failure there. I'm still expecting to come down to the bottoms.
Order submitted.
See what happens here. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Target filled.
I got lacked a bit of confidence in that one. It was coming back and almost giving me an opportunity to get out. What did I get on there? 3 ticks. When it comes below here and starts to turn, you think, oh, what have I done? I do like it is a failure. I am expecting it to get down here. Perhaps I should have just had a little bit more confidence. I could have got out for a point, probably. What did I get out for? Yeah, 3 ticks. Oh, well, it would have worked. When something turns and you're thinking, oh, I don't like this. Yeah, it's trying hard to make that. Yeah, it is. That's what I mean. I thought it was likely we were going to at least hit that. But when it pushed below and started to turn, I'm thinking I've got trapped here. But it does look like a leg and a leg. So sometimes you're just going to have confidence. But you just don't know, do you, at the moment? Well, look at that. Now, if I'd have still been in that trade, I'd have needed new underwear right about now. What did it go down? So, yeah, in a lot of cases in something like that, I'll wait for 3 points. And in this case, I may be getting out for break even. I don't think it's a problem. If you lose confidence in the trade, getting out for break even, I think it's okay. But I like to at least get a point, at least get a scalp. But, I'll take 3 ticks if that's the case. A win's a win, innit? Even if it is 3 ticks. But after we've had a bit of a break and we're going sideways, and often when we go sideways, then we'll eventually move down. And I do expect it to get to at least here, more than likely here. But see, if I was going to go short there, I'd much prefer my stop up here. I think it's safer in the middle of the range. It says stream health. Excellent. I don't know why it's frozen temporarily. Can you guys hear me now, can you? So I've got a ring on my, spinning ring. Not sure what's going on here. Something seems to be frozen somewhere. Let me just shut it and reopen it. Right, can everybody hear me? It just seemed to cut off for a minute there for some reason. OBS did, my internet's okay. First connected and then reconnected, and then on my OBS I had that circling. Oh, it's doing it again. Doom of Death or whatever it's called. Now it's stopped. Can everybody hear me? Or see me? Just pop something in the chat if everyone can hear me and see me. Can hear. Excellent. For some reason it said disconnected chat and then it reconnected, but then in my OBS I was getting that circle, you know, that load-in type circle. Okay, all good anyway. So far it's holding. It's probably going to come down, but I'm quite glad I got out there. I got no issues with getting 3 ticks. It's better than out, isn't it? Loud and clear, excellent. Or load and clear, as you've typed it. Yeah, that's where I got in so far. It's holding. I'm not holding my breath. I think it is going to hold, but I'm quite glad I got out. Nothing worse than when it goes sideways. But I did say there's likely to be some congestion there. There is if you look left, so it's probably going to do this for a while, but I expect it to come down. Yeah, it's breaking. It does look like it's pushing down. There's always that possibility that there is a bigger channel. Once we get below that, there'll quite likely be some longs in there fading the breakout after we've had a break and a new low. So once that drops below there, I'm pretty sure it will, then we'll come down to at least this measured move, I think. It may stall here for a second because there is some resistance there, but so that would have worked. It's ticked below there, so that's a good sign. Like I say, if I'd have had a lot more money in my account, then I'd have waited for that one for 3 points, which I haven't got yet, but as soon as it breaks below there, which it will do, I did say it could bounce there, and it has, but I still expect it to come down lower. At least this measured move, so my 3 points would have been 1 tick below that line. In fact, I may have even got out a tick above that line. I often like to see where it may bounce. Yeah, I don't know why it's doing it, mate. I don't quite know why, unless something wrong with our internet. I don't think so. We got super fast internet, to be honest with you. Okay, bear me just for 2 minutes. I'm just going to go and check me as well. I'm just going to go and check my internet, check everything's okay. Bear me 1 minute. Yeah, my internet looks okay. Just have to keep an eye on it. It's not the internet, I don't think, because I'm not getting any freezing on my NinjaTrader chart. It just seems YouTube for some reason. I'm not sure why. It's fine now. Okay, so I don't quite know why. It was YouTube actually that was doing it. But yeah, seems okay now. Okay, so we came down there and bounced. I thought it might do. So what are we doing now? That was obviously an area where it could turn from. I put that in quite a while ago. So you're long here, are you? I'm not sure about this because we're still in this, aren't we? We're at the top of here. So I think we could still break lower. I hope for your sake we don't, and I'll tell you why I think we might. There is some support resistance there, and I know that we hit it there, so we could come down, but in all fairness, I'm not sure. But you can clearly see that, can't you, where it's bouncing there. Often it doesn't come right down to the bottom. It's not been doing that lately. It comes down to the that sort of the sort of biggest area of support, which is there. So it's better now, is it? Yeah, excellent. Yeah, it just seemed to be YouTube for some reason. My internet was fine. I looked at all the colours and all the lights are flashing in the right order. So I think it was just YouTube. So I thought it was OBS. It's not YouTube, but it's fine now, yeah. Yeah, that's my concern. Touch. Looking good so far. Clay, what made you go long? Yeah, I don't think about going long until we start to push up and then start to go into a channel. Doesn't mean to say it's not. So you might be way more advanced in seeing, markets move than I am. So I like to start to see it move first, and then maybe have a couple of legs back and go into a bigger channel before. Because since where are we? Since where was that? 10 to 3, 10 to 4, 10 to 5. For the last 2 hours, we've been coming down literally right up until a couple of bars. So until we actually start to properly move in another direction, because we just might go up, and there is clearly an area of congestion along here, and we're still in it by the looks of things. But until we can push up out of it and start to move in this way and direction, I'm just sitting tight. Yeah, you just don't know. It may still come down. This measured move isn't played out. It's still bearish to me at the moment. The measured move hasn't played out. They're often accurate. Not always, though. But what I will say is I put that bar there. For me, that was an area where it could bounce at the bottom of a range and continue up. And so far it has bounced. But it's not pushing up as strong as I thought it might. If it was going to, start to end up bullish now. But it's just choppy. And I'm a bit unclear at the moment. So could come down to the measured move. It could come down to here. It could come down to the overnight lows. But at the moment, as we've had this break, we've had a break there, we've pushed down, we've come down again, we've pushed up, and we're still continuing to be slowly grinding down. So I'm just going to have to sit tight. If that turns into a high low, that might be a better indication we're at least going to the tops again. 'Yeah, I'm still not getting into that. As far as I'm concerned at the moment, it's still bearish until it gives me a decent sign. That might be the sign. For me, it's got to get above this and retest it before I'm thinking about going long. You Phil, good on you, mate. Possible second entry short. See, so I'm not sure at the moment. 1 minute looks like it's rocketing up, then it looks like it may turn. But for me, really, before I think it's coming up here, I'd like to see it break above this and then retest it. But it's certainly showing the right signs. £7 points today. Good for you, mate. That's 6 points in a tick more than I've got today. That's good. That's good going, mate. If you can make an average 7 points a day, you'll make yourself a fortune. That's what attracted me to the Penguin guy, in all honesty. I think at the time when I was looking at him 6 months ago, he was averaging 6 points a day. I mean, that is flipping amazing, in all fairness. 6 points a day. I mean, that is a really, really good result. Okay, so if it can get above here and retest this, then I may be thinking about longs, but it's going to have to break above this, really. At the moment, that's just 2 legs. It may push up and come back down. Yeah, it's hard to say. There's always the possibility of a bigger channel. See, that kind of fits as well. Maybe not there, but I mean, we're touching here, we're touching there, we're touching there. It's always a possibility it's going to make 2 legs and come down some more. It's just a bit unclear because that kind of works as well. We've touched, we've touched, we've touched, we've touched. So it could do one of multiple things here, and this just tells me it's a bit unclear for me. That's making me nervous. Leg. It could be just a break on the way up. Yeah, see, until it gets above there and retests that, I'm still thinking bearish at the moment. I mean, this may be just a pullback. We may get a higher low and it may continue up. That's always a possibility, but the way that's coming down, I'm not so sure. Well, I didn't think it was over with bearish, but I didn't expect it to push down that strongly. So I think it's fair to say it's quite likely going to break that level and then probably that measured move. Your stream is about 2 minutes. Is it really? It might be YouTube. I don't quite understand why. Let me have a look. My stream settings, it's on ultra low latency. So that's proper. I don't know, unless there's some issues with YouTube or something. But it shouldn't be. It's usually a couple of seconds with this ultra low latency. Let me just check my internet speed's good. Speed test. Okay, that's my speed test. So my upload speed is 900 megabits per second, which is super quick. Let's see what my upload speed is. Yeah, that's more than ample. I used to have between 11 and 13 megabits of upload, so that's super quick. Yeah, I mean, that's 900 megabits upload. That's like 25 times quicker than I used to have it. So the only thing I can put it down to is there's something, an issue with YouTube. Looks good to you? So I'll tell you what, FZen, if I shout out a number, you put it as a figure. Let's see how long it takes. If I put 1, just, you know, don't spell it, just put on 1, okay? So if I tell you a number, print it out or type it out and we'll see how quick it is. No, not yet. I haven't told you the number. I was giving you an example. Okay, the number is 8. .78. Okay, it's about 5 seconds. That was something like that. About 5 seconds. And obviously, when I say it, you've got to think about it and then get to your keyboard. So it's not much. It's maybe 2 to 3 seconds, something like that. In all fairness, so So I think it's just you. You probably just got a crap computer, Clyde. That's all I can think of, mate. I don't know, mate. I don't know what it is. It might be your system, to be honest with you. But if FSen, Robin, John, Exponential, and Kev have all got the number within 5 seconds, and obviously it takes you a second to register it, and then what's it? So it just might be your setup, bud. Set your playback speed to 2x. The last thing you want to do is hear me speaking twice as quick. Okay, so this looks like it's going to hit that. Okay. I didn't think it was finished with down. I just didn't think I'd do it. So measured move, look at that. I'll tell you what, if anybody ever thinks this market is random, that's proof it's not. Look at that. Perfect. And in all fairness, that can come down a touch. So look at that. Absolutely perfect. So it's pushed down and then turns. So I had a feeling it wasn't done with the down. I just didn't expect for it to move down that quick, in all fairness. So let's see if we're going to break the overnight lows, which tells me maybe there is something bigger there. It's always a possibility. Let's just see if that comes and breaks the overnight lows. We may get a touch on this. Let's see, but you were not live on my screen, you Wally. I've done that before, though. I've played someone and I haven't realised I might have hit the pause button quickly. And I'm about 10 seconds. We'll forgive you, mate. We'll forgive you. God, there was me stressing and panicking, thinking, oh, God, things are falling apart. So, yeah, there is a possibility of a bigger channel down there. My mistake. We'll forgive you, mate. We'll forgive you. We've all done it. So what I like about that is we've touched here, touched a few times here. We've also touched here, nice, here as well. It looks like we may come down and break the overnight lows. And if we do, we may even touch on the bottom of this. So obviously the test is whether we pull back up and then continue on down ultimately. So I'll have to see this. Hey. See how we're going on here. Okay, so that measured move's played. The frustrating thing about that is nothing in there was safe. So all that, well, it would have given me I think it was a tick shy of 3 points. So I'd have only gone for a couple of points there in all fairness, but I got out because it just started to go a bit sideways. So I'm still glad I got out. But after it going sideways, pushed up, and we had a leg, a break, and it closed under there for me, I think it was okay. And it was an average trade, to be fair. Enough to make, 2 3/4 points, but not enough to out like a good trade. It just continued to go sideways, but there you go. And then what happens, depending on whether you're short there, or even at the top, it's amazing how it pushes up just enough to take out that stop, and that stop. Amazing, isn't it, how this market moves? And this is surely the algorithms looking out for potential weak stops. That's why my argument is the market is out to get you. I'd love to get a little bit more information on how these rhythms work. Trouble is, we're all retail traders here. We've not had any sort of proper formal training, from a bank or from any type of investment bank. But I'd like to understand how these. I might do a little bit of research actually and find out how it works. Somebody knows out there. So, leg down, first pull back. Maybe we are going to continue down. It's certainly possible. So, channel there with a first break. So, I'm going to get rid of that. Let's see if I can clean this chart up a bit. So, touch, 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 touch. Be nice to get a couple of legs up here. Yeah, in all fairness, it didn't look like a bad trade at the time. And you'd have squeezed 2 points on the first push. We're going sideways and then we come down. First entry, drop out the bottom. What interests me is because we dropped out the bottom, pushed straight up to the EMA, it turned, pushed up higher and then dropped. And then it started to look like it was working down, but I lost my bottle. I'm kind of glad I did, really. Okay, so got a channel down there. First break, if we can get another push up. Hello. What happened there? I'm assuming there were sell orders above there. Strange thing is it dropped. I'm assuming it dropped, took profits, which caused it to turn. That's the only thing I can think of. See if you've had an order up here. How's that push down? You might have been in and out. I don't know. Let's say your orders would have been up here somewhere. Yeah, you may have been in and out. If you're in here, causes it to drop, and once you get out, causes it to push up. So, that's anything I can think of. Well, we're not pushing up as strong as I thought we may do, so I don't think we've finished coming down yet. I'm just going to kill the colour on that. I've got nothing better at the moment. Okay, leg down. First step, right. If we can get another push up here and a bearish bar, then that may interest me. To push down to the overnight lows. I mean, it's continuously grinding down. So if we can get something, a nice bearish bar and an encouraging place, that may attract some more sellers in the market. Firms like Goldman, large institution, higher math majors, the likes of Harvard, MIT, to build algorithms. Yeah. The only scary thing is they're only going to improve, aren't they? So, yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense, doesn't it? These markets are going to make money as well, aren't they? I mean, you tend to think the only thing that move markets are just traders, but it's not just the case, is it? I'd like to find out a bit, do a little bit of research and find out exactly how it all works. Okay, let's have a look. That's a secret. Okay, triangle once, triangle twice. A possible short there. It is a second entry short. What do I think? I think it's congested. Do I think it'll work? Quite probably. But I'm not taking it because it is congested. So that's going to add some risk to it. And I'm not interested in it at the moment. Thing is, we've had a leg up. We could get another leg up here to maybe retest this. So it's not forming anyway. So let's have a. You only get that knowledge by birth. You're probably right, actually. Secret handshakes and all that. Okay, so leg up, leg up. If we can push up here, get another leg up, and then maybe get a lower high, that would confirm this larger channel. It looks like it's trying to, so we've got one leg, two leg, that would be nice. Leg down, one leg, two leg. Get a nice bounce off here, maybe a few bars in a row, aiming down and then a lower high. But it does look like it's continuing down. We haven't hit this overnight. I mean, obviously it could go in the other direction. I mean, this channel might not be valid. Another thing I'm looking at is that kind of fits as well, doesn't it? Let's just shove that out of the way. Touch. It's fitting nice along the backside, so it's hard to say, really. That's kind of a possibility as well. The only thing is it's more sideways than down. I'm not a fan of these. It's just not quite steep enough for my liking. It doesn't mean it's not. Maybe not at the moment. Okay, let's leave that there a minute. Might be one of those days. Not the easiest day today. There's been a lot of chop. You can see it. Not as much volume. Same yesterday. There wasn't a lot of volume yesterday. I mean, not the day before, really. Why can't I move this? Yeah, I mean, if you look at that, look at the width of this and then look at the width of that, we're not at the end yet. So the last couple of days, well, I suppose that explains itself. If it's sideways, you're not going to be trading as much. We had a bit of sideways, a quick push up, and then some sideways. So I suppose it goes without saying there's going to be less volume. If we're watching this and not taking trades, then other traders are as well. So I think it slows the amount of volume. But same again, we're not having a lot of volume. I usually finish in about sort of 40 minutes, and I can hardly barely fit this on a page. Well, I got loads of room, but so it's definitely okay. Push up, maybe another push up. Maybe this is going to take us down. Still not a fan of that because it closed above the EMA. But it's still a leg up and a leg up, I suppose. You just can't do anything here, really. Triple top, triple bottom, more than 15 overlapping bars in a tight range. Yeah, you could get stuck so easy, couldn't you? What I'd like to see is it to get to the top of this, confirm this channel and start working down, and then that may interest me. But until that happens, the trouble is it just gives you stuff like this, doesn't it? Sort of tries to almost tease you in. Yeah, it's got to get up here. The good thing about getting up there is it takes some stops out there. And if it does, it might give it a bit of momentum up here then. So that might be the one, actually. If that finishes bullish. Okay. Leg, that stop needs taken out. If it is, then we may get some movement up here then. The highs overbought on the daily. I can see why traders are confused. Yeah, I had a look at the daily today. I had a look last night. That's probably easier. For some reason, when you remove everything, it doesn't remove lines you've made for some reason. I don't quite know why. Okay, so this is the daily. Let's move it over a bit so we can see what's going on. So we had that big, we spent ages, a year or so coming down, didn't we? We had this big strong push up then. And it's been coming down since, what's that, mid-July. And then we had that bit of an overshoot, didn't we? So that came down like that. And there was the overshoot. So obviously with that overshoot, it could continue up, but I'd probably expect it to push up above there, come back and retest this, but the momentum's slowing down, so we may get a bit of a pullback before it may be continuing higher. So I mean, that bar has triggered, but it's hard to, it's hard to say, isn't it? Okay, so leg, that gets us to where it may continue on down. Let's have a look. Okay, so I had that like that, didn't I? Let's see how we get on here. So we've stopped there. That's a good sign. If we can do that a few times and start to work down. But it is a leg down, one attempt higher, taking it. There's two clear pushes up. I never take this one. I always wait for the lower high. Because I like to give it, especially in this, it's nice to give it a chance to retest the tops. In fact, that could probably go higher. Yeah. Let's come back and retested that, so it could potentially push up. That's why I always like to give it, take that lower high. The fact that it hasn't pushed up to that measured leg, I'm not bothered about. I'd rather respect the top of the channel. So if it's going to follow that channel, that's where I want it to finish. So we'll see. Interesting. Okay, so let's say that's played out. Twice now we've stuck here, so that's a good sign. Okay, I think that's a pretty clear reaction, isn't it? You can't argue with that. It's gone there, hit it once, twice, and on the top of that third time, it's dropped like a stone. So I think it's fair to say we're likely going to continue down. So leg, clearly played out. I'd like to sort of push back up a bit and then close below the top of that. Be nice to see a little bullish bar here to trigger and then come down again. So I think it's, after seeing that, I think it's a fair chance we're going to break these overnight lows. And this channel's valid. Unfortunately, there's just no entry. We had that one, then it pulled back, didn't it? And then that moved over and it dropped nearly 4 points. Nothing you can do there, unfortunately. Like to see maybe a little bull bar here trigger. Wow. Leg down. Be nice to get a second entry short somewhere here. A little push up. Yeah, you're not wrong, mate. It's a bit boring, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, it's sideways, but down a bit, isn't it? Yeah. It's not easy, is it? Okay, so one leg up, two legs up. Trouble is, you got 3 bars back to back. Ouch. For a browse, nutty bar got trapped, 2 breakouts. Oh dear, I don't like anyone to have a rough day. He's a nice guy, he's actually. He's now watching myself sometimes for half an hour in the evening. And I've had a natter with him. How's anybody know how young what's it's got on? He is nice, yeah, he's a nice guy. How's anybody know how young Moo-Moo's got on today? He got back, as I'm assuming those accounts he'd have likely blown. I think he was down $1,700 in each of them, wasn't he? So you're going to struggle to come back from that. So I'm assuming with the offer, the 90% on yesterday, he may have just sucked up some more evaluations. I can't see him trying to recover those ones. Once they've gone that far, it's pretty hard to get back. Break, couple of pushes up. Trouble is, a bit of congested. That's not a bearish bar. There's nothing you can do there, really. But it is coming down by the looks of things. I think it's quite likely. Plus 500, about 10. Screen was full of evals. Oh, he's taking a few today, isn't he? Yeah. Trouble is, you take a lot on board, and it's a lot to lose, isn't it? I think. Okay, so that's pushed down. Yeah, I don't know. I think you should stick to 1 or 2. Start to make them pay, and then add to them. The trouble is, if you're adding too many evaluations at a time and then too many PA accounts, it just adds extra pressure. Which is why I've gone down to 1. I've got another one starting soon. I think a couple's enough, really, until you can make them pay. The more you lose, the harder it's going to feel. I mean, he lost 20, didn't he? I can't imagine how that must feel. When I lost 4, I thought it was going to be. I was wandering around like a zombie looking for a bridge to toss myself off. But yeah, I can't imagine losing 20. It's not that. It's just the money it cost. You're paying $140 times 20 just for the PAs. That's tough, that is. Yeah, I hope Wilson's doing okay. He had the same problem. I can't bring myself to getting 20 accounts. Not yet. I've got another one starting soon. I want to just get these 2 till they're up a reasonable amount till I can take a monthly payment from. And then when I can do that, then I'll start to increase 2 or 3 a month and build up slowly, because you can't just start trading large amounts, large accounts like that. In my opinion, you need to work up to them. It's too much of a psychological strain, really. Okay, so I expected a leg up and a leg up. Unfortunately, it just turned. There was no entry. There was nothing you can do. We had a break, sort of 2 pushes up. Same again, not bearish. I thought it was a fair chance we'd come down, but there's no entry, unfortunately. So it's doing what we think it's doing, but it's not giving us any entries. So what can you do? Unfortunately, there's not a huge amount of trades around today, in all honesty. That one, I think I was clutching at straws a bit there. It was an okay trade, but that's as best as it was. It was a failure, but not a good one, but it made a few points, but that's it. Apart from that, I really can't see much else. There was a second entry long there, but I didn't like the bar. And it could have triggered you and made another few more bars sideways, including one that stopped you out. So apart from that, I can't see a lot of trades. There was a failure there, which I don't think was that bad, but at the time I had a wider channel. But as that's coming down, it's not a bad trade, that I don't think. Try go once, try go twice. There was a second entry long. If you'd have had that wider, then there may have been some traders wanting to go long from there. And then that pushed down quite nice. And so that failure, I would guess people like Marco would mark, probably Mac as well. Trouble is, you've got to push up, you've got to break, and there's a couple of attempts to go higher. Unfortunately, the signal bars, and after having said that, that one didn't trigger. It moved across, pushed up before it came down, so I don't think you can take that there. This is just congested. There was a second entry long and a failure, which I took, and I think it was okay, but that's as good as it is. Apart from that, it's very much down a bit sideways, and just hard, isn't it? And when it does decide to move here, there's no entry, and same again, there's no entry. So there's definitely not a lot of trades around today. It happens. There's nothing you can do about it, really, is there? It's just one of those things. You just got to go with it. It's like I know Mac talks about, aim for two points a day or 2 trades a day, $100 a day. I personally think aiming for monetary targets is a recipe for disaster. Because, with all the will in the world, you could go out and try and get 2 trades a day or 1 trade a day. But, all we are really is spectators on a train. We're just sat here watching. We can't decide we want this. We've just got to wait for something. And if all of a sudden a trade comes up and it exposes itself, then we take it. But apart from that, you can't. I think going for monetary targets exposes just a force a trade. So what I'm up for is a target, as in if I do manage to get 2 trades, then I'll walk away. That's the type of target I think's okay. Chad, what do you mean you can't find a lot of trades? Mac will have 24 in them. Yeah, I don't doubt it for a second, mate. I mean, in all fairness, even if I look after the fact, I can't see a lot. That one, yes, I think he'd mark. Maybe that one. You could say a leg and a leg down. Possibly that one. But yeah, I agree, probably will. In fact, the last couple of days he hasn't put a lot down, but I don't know. I don't think there's a lot of trades around. It's very, very sideways, but yeah, I'm yet to see him mark at least 5 or 6. But we have got an overshoot here, so as far as I'm concerned, this is quite likely just a range day. Just because we've got a channel down doesn't mean it's not a range day. It's clearly bounced there, so we may find we get a strong push up here. Mac, he makes me laugh. He did. When he posted his shot yesterday, he posted the daily. Oh, bless him, he's getting it. He did say he was going to retire soon. I don't think it'll be more than a couple of years. He's worked hard. He's done his time, hasn't he? And he's had some health issues with this cancer. He's clearly not short of a few money, and I think sometimes if you don't need the money, trade part-time and go and enjoy your life. I think he plays a bit of golf. He enjoys his fishing. I don't know what age he is, but I'm guessing he's probably 60, maybe early 60s. I get the impression he's early 60s. But I don't know. So, if he's made his money, I think it's time to start, enjoying yourself. It's not all about working till you drop. And if he has had his health issues, I think at some point you've got to go, time to enjoy myself. Maybe nips off to Vegas for a couple of weeks. Sleeps with a few high-quality hookers. Shucks away a few $1,000 at the casinos and drinks a load of hard liquor. That's what I'd like to do. Maybe not though. Okay, so we've got a leg down here. We've clearly broken the lows of the day, so that is a bit of an overshoot. You can't deny that. So yeah, we may get quite a quick push up there. It has been a slow old day today. No argument there. Okay, quick push up here. Come on, don't make me look bad. Up you get. No, don't come down. Your comments are priceless. I would like to go to Vegas just once. Do you know what I fancy having a look at? Is even Vegas they do that slide, that rope slide. What is it? We call it a death slide over here. And they strap you up vertical, don't they? And you slide through down the street somewhere in Vegas. I quite fancy having a go at that. You'd meet me in Vegas. It'd be nice to get a bunch of us out there. I would love to go to Vegas. Not for the gambling. I'm not really a gambler. It doesn't really interest me. I don't know, just for the experience. I don't know, just get blind drunk. I don't know what else. I mean, Vegas, really, I suppose you just associate with really. Is it just gambling, or is there other stuff to do there? I know they had that massive. I watched the program of that. The zip line. That's what I meant. It's not a death slide, yeah, zip line. They've got one in Wales here, which goes from a mountain, and I think it goes for a mile or so. It takes about, I don't know, it takes a while. Yeah, I mean, you just seem to associate Vegas with just casinos, but I'd maybe like to go and watch, I don't know, a big show or maybe a boxing match. I think it'd be nice. Go to, was it Caesar's Palace they usually have? Go and see a big show, zip line on the film on Las Vegas. Yeah, I like the idea of that. And there's one. Where is it in the US? Is it? It's down a street because you're literally zipping over people, and I'm seeing these people, and they're on these zip lines flying over people, and I'm thinking, if you've gone on there with your mates after you've had a skinful the night before and you throw up, where's it going to go? You know, I'd be really unsure about walking under people coming past me on one of those. Was it? Where was it? Is it somewhere like New Orleans or something? I can't remember. But I just think, you know what young lads are like sometimes. They have a skin full of beer, don't they, and decide to do something like that. And once you start flying through the air with a belly full of beer, yeah, exactly. Chances are you're gonna toss your cookies, and you know what I mean. The Grand Canyon Hoover Dam. Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be a nice experience. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of amazing places out there, really. I'd like to go. Rome, I've always wanted to go to. I know my daughter wants to go to Rome. She's 16 next year, so we may take her, actually. But that would be a nice experience. Wow, look at that. That's proper tanking. Well, there's no argument about that being an overshoot. I thought it was going to rock it up, but no. Yeah, Rome I'd like to go to, and Pompeii as well. Places around Italy. I've been to Egypt, so that's off. That was an amazing experience. I think rush hour, 5 o'clock in the morning till 12 midnight. You've never seen nothing like it. There's 5 lanes and no one uses the lanes. They just literally, they use their horns. They hit their horn and they move. They hit the horn. And it's just like, it's almost like the wacky races. It's just something weird. You know, in Cairo, you've got palaces on one side of the road, slums on the other side. It's strange. But what's the river? It's only the most well-known river in the world, and I've gone blank. What is it? It'll come to me. You know, just seeing people on the sides of the river washing clothes and stuff, you could almost go back to biblical times. The Nile. The Nile. It's almost, you could almost go back to biblical times and not a lot would have changed. It's quite fascinating to see, actually. So if you do ever get the chance to go to Egypt, the pyramids are something else. I went there about 15 years ago. I think my wife went down into one of the pyramids. I was outside with my camcorder, recording a fight between two of these guys on camels. It was much more entertaining. But a fascinating place. It's hard to believe some places in the world how different they are. It really is. You know, you live in your own country. We're sort of Western civilization, and it's all we've ever known. But sometimes you go to these different places, and how other people live around the world just never ceases to amaze me. Kenya as well. Oh, the poverty out there is unreal. Strange. Yeah, you do forget how lucky you are sometimes, you know, living where we live. You know, you guys, US, more or less the same as the UK, on slightly a bigger scale. Overshoot of booth channels. I agree with you, mate. So, trouble is, it's always possible we could get a break and a continuation in a sharper channel, but that's proper sell-off, that, isn't it? You don't need to correct yourself. I know what you mean. Do you know what? I'd have never shorted that. Never. Especially after that overshoot, but somebody did. thinking? Okay, after this, it's got to go up, isn't it? I'll be shocked if we get a second entry and we go lower. I mean, there's no reason why it can't. It's fitting nice in that channel. Do you know what I'd love to do, though? Do a skydive over the desert in Dubai. I did a bunch of parachute jumps when I was sort of in my late teens, early 20s. And I'd love to do it in Dubai. Over the palm looks spectacular, but there's something about doing it over the desert. I've watched videos on it. I'd love to do it. Okay, so clear channel down there, no argument. Touched here, fit in nice, both sides with a brake and a big overshoot. So usually associate overshoots with a reversal. I'm not so sure. Jumping out of a plane would terrify me. It terrified me, mate. Don't worry about it. It does wear off, though, after a while. I was a bit younger. I don't know if I'd have the nuts to do it now. I'd probably do a tandem where you're strapped to someone else. Just drink a few double whiskies and you'll be laughing. It's an experience, put it that way. But it's just something about, I've seen videos over the desert, and just obviously because it's all desert, everything's sort of light brown, beige colour, it just looks weird. You almost can't, tell obviously when you're over normal land, you can sort of see how high it is, but it's quite hard to comprehend your height when you're over, something looks like a sea, just like an ocean made out of sand. It does look spectacular. I'd love to do it. If stuff scares me, I try to force myself to do it because I hate the fact that, I get a bit nervous of stuff. But, oh yeah. I remember sitting on at the edge of a door with my legs dangling out, thinking of every excuse under the sun to try and get out of it. But when you've got about 6 people right behind you that can't manoeuvre around, you really haven't got much of a choice. So we got a leg up. There's sort of like 2 legs there, but I'm not going short there. Not a chance. It may continue down, who knows? But if I'm going to go short, I want a proper leg and a really good bearish signal bar before I think about going short here, because after that overshoot, you've really got to be careful. But it could just keep coming down. There's always a possibility. I don't know what's going on today. There's always a possibility you could have a couple of legs and then maybe a wider channel. Especially the way it's sort of struggling there. Okay, this is going to have to be bearish. I'm not taking a second entry short. If I'm going to go short here, it's going to be from a really good looking lower high. Otherwise, I'm not interested. So that's EMA's gone flat. That's actually closed above it. So I would say from what I'm seeing, we're probably going to get a leg and then another leg. But you never know. I thought after that we'd push up. We didn't. Maybe expect something like that. But you just never know. Sometimes these markets can surprise you. I've been surprised today. So, I mean, if there's always a possibility, isn't there, that it could come down. If we can come down and maybe get a lower high. I mean, I should probably get rid of that really, because it affects your bias then, doesn't it? I think it's probably more likely to push up the way that's forming. I don't think any traders will have taken that, but there's a first entry. It's not pushing up as strong as I thought it might do. We may not be finished with more downward stuff yet. It's definitely low volume. I mean, look at that. I'm usually finished by now in a lot of cases, and you know what I mean? Usually I've got to sort of stretch this across to take a photo of me screen, but look at that. I mean, it's very low volume today. It's got to be because there's so much sideways and chop. It's just hard to trade that. You know, half of this, chop there, chop there, chop there. It's hard to trade it. And there's just not a lot of great setups, really. So some may have gone long there. But the way that's pushing down, I really wouldn't be surprised if it continued down. Nothing I can do with that anyway. It's a little bit sideways as well, so it's congested, so it's just not showing good signals either way. It's going to be one of those days today, which is all right. You know, if I can sit patiently and through all this and not feel the need to jump in and take a lame trade, then I've done my job well, and I can walk away. You know, even if I hadn't had those 3 ticks, I can walk away. You know, happy that all my job is to just sit here and observe, you know, try and figure out what's going on to at least I can enter in the right direction. And then if I see a setup, I see one. If I don't, nothing I can do. It's going sideways, so it could trap trade. I think it's likely to make another leg up. We often do, don't we? We have a leg up, it goes sideways, and it continues up. So I think it's way more likely to go up. We often see that. It's like a bull flag, isn't it? And after that overshoot, really, you've got to expect it to go up. Just be nice to get maybe a second entry. I'm staying out of it at the moment. I thought after that little overshoot it'd push up, and it didn't. It came down, so you just never know. I watched a video last night on YouTube. This guy he's the CEO of a big company. He's also on a program I think you guys have in the States called Dragon's Den over here. Excuse me. And it's these people who invent these ideas go into this sort of big room, and you've got the top businessmen, and they all decide whether to invest or not. And this guy, black fella he is, was a CEO on it, and he makes videos on YouTube. You call it Shark Tank. Yeah, this guy, I forget his name, black guy, he's quite a young guy. He's only maybe 30, something like that. And he interviews various different people, big high-profile people. And he interviewed this guy that had wrote this book, and he said it changed his life, so I downloaded it. It's called The Psychology of Money. So I downloaded it onto Audible, but I forget this guy's name. Forget his name. It'll come to me. If I remember, I'll let you know. But yeah, The Psychology of Money. He read it and he said it changed his life. But definitely worth. I'll tell you what would be in my history on it. Definitely worth a read. So anything like that you know people I respect say. Is it Snedge? I'm not sure of his name actually. In fact, I don't know his name. Let me have a look in the history. View all. Where is it? Yeah, I just happened to be watching some of the Dragon's Den, and I like it when they refuse people and they go back and see how these people have done later on, and they make an absolute fortune. Can't find it now. No, I can't find it. If I remember, I'll let you know. Damon, I'm not sure. Tell you what, let's look at Dragon's Den cast. Definitely worth a read, though. Just the way he said about it, it changed his life, the way he looked at money. Stephen Bartlett, his name is. Stephen Bartlett. He's 31 years old. And he's got a channel on YouTube. I think it's called, is it the CEO? What the CEO? What's it called? Let me have a look. Not the CEO, it's something else. Stephen Bartlett. But no, his brother. It was his brother who said he'd read this book. He said, if you're going to do one thing in your life, read this book. And that Stephen Bartlett from Dragon's Den read it, and he said it changed his life, and he became way successful. So I downloaded it. The Psychology of Money, it's called. So I'm going to give it a listen. I like listening to audiobooks, I do. You can just stick him, stick him on your head and stick your earbuds in, and away you go. This looks to me like it's starting to push up. I don't think you can deny that after that overshoot. Be nice to see that trigger. No, Stephen Bartlett, his name is. Okay, his YouTube channel, he's got 3.9 million subscribers. It's called The Diary of a CEO. And the guy he had on The Diary of a CEO, he has all sorts of people on, really high-profile people. He speaks to these expert doctors and all this about mental health and how caffeine is killing you, and about stress and stuff like that. He has these real high-profile experts. And the one I watched was this guy that wrote this book. He had him on. The Diary of a CEO, his YouTube channel is. Well, up to volume. Yeah, it's gone weird, isn't it? I was kind of hoping that might trigger, because we got a leg up, and I can see another leg up here. I'm just going to get rid of that a minute. Shove it over. So touch. Trouble is, sometimes when you come into the end of your trading day, it's easy to get a bit complacent and take something a bit silly. But we got a leg up there, a bit sideways, and I think after that overshoot, that big overshoot, it's likely to push up, at least make a couple of legs. See if this triggers. I'd like that bearish bar to trigger, in all fairness. And that then would be a failure. That's a second entry short there. Okay, it's triggered, so I'm just going to keep an eye on this.
Order submitted.
No.
Order
I thought
canceled.
that might trigger and start to push up. be right. Not even a fan of that. Let's just push this out of the way so we got a leg up. It looks like a sort of a bull flag. Often we get this, it pushes up and it goes sideways at a slight angle. When you get a decent entry bar, off it rockets. Or it could continue down. It's always possible. Okay, I'm hoping this goes bullish. Possible second entry long, bounced off the midline, push up strong. But it's a secret, of course, yeah. It does look like we're trying to push up, doesn't it?
Order
Just
submitted.
again already. Possible second entry long.
Order cancelled.
No, excuse me, just for 1 minute. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Oh, that's tempting.
Order submitted.
No, no good.
Order
I
cancelled.
thought if that ends up bullish, second entry long, that might push up. After the overshoot, I do expect it to push up, but you just never know. It's always possible it could just continue down. It's possible, but who knows? In fact, what time is it? How long are we going for? We're going with 3 hours now. I'm going to knock it on the head a bit. It's just one of those days I can't see anything popping out that would work good enough to take at the moment. I'm not a fan of this stuff. It's very easy to get sucked into a bad trade here, especially when you've been trading for 3 hours. 1 minute it looks bearish. I mean, this type of scenario I see often, it pushes up, goes sideways, and then breaks to the top. which I think it's more likely to do after an overshoot, but that's pretty bearish. We had an overshoot there and it came back and dropped some more, so you just don't know whether it's going to come back a bit and then rock it down some more. You know, but it just, I mean, there's always the possibility is it's just a range day with a bit of a breakout and it may push back in. So I'm a bit on the fence here. Volume's low. There's loads of chop. I mean, we sat here for 3 hours and I've got one average trade, which I lost my bottle on. But I think the best thing to do is just a knock on the head today. Last thing I want to do is get sucked up. I'm up a few ticks, which is better than nothing. I don't mind. I'll take it. Whatever I can get, but there isn't a lot of trades now. I'll be amazed if Mac finds many trades here. I can't see him finding, you know, maybe 3 to 5. See, even a triple test there. And that one, I think he'll mark. He may mark that one. He went for 3 points. It certainly made a scalp. See, even fading the breakout, there's just nothing there, is there? And then it just drops. Will he mark that? I can't see it after the overshoot, so I can't see a lot today, but you never know. Sometimes Mac surprises you, but 1 minute it's looking like it's coming down, doesn't it, and then up. So for me, it's a quiet day, a bit of a choppy day, but a day I'm happy with. I've managed to make a little bit of something. More importantly, I've managed to not take anything stupid or get sucked in because of the boredom, which is good. So I think I'm aiming in the right direction. Things are going well now. I'm about 4 days off trading for 4 weeks with this account, and it's up. It's $150 under 1,500. So it's not been a brilliant few weeks really. It's been slow. There's been a lot of chop. We obviously missed that really good trading day because of the problem with Rhythmic, and that would have been a good day. That would have been, but you know, on even on one contract, if I can, you know, end up $1,500 minimum a month, you times that by 10, you know, and bearing in mind it's been a really slow month, so I'm happy with my progress at the moment. It's slow and steady. You know, reducing from 2 points to 2 contracts to 1 contract is absolutely reduced my stress levels. I just don't feel it the same way when I'm in a trade now. I'm sensible. I'm not careless. But I don't have the same levels of stress I did when I was trading 2 contracts, because I know even a couple of losses is only going to set me back a few $100s, which I can live with. So I can see this pushing up. But, you know, I'm not getting sucked into nothing. It's a low volume day today. A lot of chop. I've saved that was nice, so there we go. So that is me done for the day. Can I ask you guys to hit that like button? Oh, there's not many left actually. Just trying to grow the channel a bit, but there we go. That's me done for another day. Thursday tomorrow, 2 more days left. So I will be back tomorrow same time. So if you're carrying on trading, best of luck. I hope you get something. Failing that, have a great evening. Stay safe. And I will see you all same time tomorrow. Yeah, cheers to you, mate. Night Floor, I like that name. Night Floor. Take it easy, Kev. Yeah, so, take it easy, all folks, and I will see you same time tomorrow. Bye for now.